This is the gear case out of a Maytag Commercial transmission. I've sold probably hundreds at this point of these Maytag Commercial washers, and I've been hearing whispers about the gear case being garbage, and honestly this is my first bad one that I've got. This washer was installed at basically like a homeless shelter where it was hooked up and ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically for about 2 years before it started making some weird noises. The customer had me come out and I replaced the gear case and all is well in the world, and I'm very curious to see what in fact is actually wrong with this machine. To find out, we have to drill out these stamped rivets, pull the casing out, and then hopefully we'll get to the actual guts and see what happened. Okay, let's see. Now guys, full disclosure, I've never taken one of these apart before, so I don't exactly know what I'm doing, but we're going to learn together. I think I have to pull that out. I think I have this retaining piece here. This is kind of like a spring type clip, where you kind of just have to pry up on it and it'll take it out of its groove. Alright. Now it looks like next we're going to have to release. This bearing is probably the only compression fit holding this together. So essentially we're going to take a screwdriver and just try and pry it and see if we could get it open. There it is. It looks like it's cooperating. There we go. This looks like a 6006 bearing. It's an NSK bearing, so it's not like absolute garbage. Certainly not the best, but the issue is inside here, and I gotta figure out how to take that boy apart. So it looks like in order for me to get this gear case out as an assembly, then I'm gonna have to access these screws, and to get that I gotta push this. So this comes in and out. It looks like this little bracket's got to go, and then I could push it all the way through the back side. So let me see if I could get this to pry out, or I'll tap it with a hammer. Otherwise I'm just going to grind it and get rid of it. Okay. As you can see, this transmission is certainly not serviceable in any way. Even if the seal leaks, you can't change the seal because this bushing, which is pressed in, will not allow you to, which kind of sucks because theoretically you should be able to at least change the seal and maybe the bearings or whatever, but they made these so that nobody could service them. I think I have to...
bearing in there.
Alright, this is essentially the guts. This is the transmission of the machine. And I'm almost... oh, look, we could actually see some damage already. So it looks like this gear case had a crack in it. And I don't know if that was from me taking it apart. It probably was, actually, because I don't remember seeing that. But let's take it apart the rest of the way and see. Alright. Now this is brazed onto this, so I think I'm going to have to open it like this. I think some oil is going to come out. This might get messy. Oh yeah, it is. So this is kind of what I was expecting to see, is a set of planetary gears, and basically this is not a transmission in the sense that we remember our old school machines. This is more of like a gearbox, whereas it just does like torque converting and gear reduction. Now the real question is what's wrong with this guy, because all these gears seem to be in good shape. The issue is definitely in here. It is making like a grinding noise, but I mean, I might have these. Yeah, see, now I feel some resistance right here if I go the other way. Guys, this motor oil or whatever this gear oil smells so bad. It's literally got to be the most awful thing I've ever smelled in my life. Oh, I don't know. This is let me clean this up real quick so we can get a better look at it without the grease. So this is the gear case cleaned up, and I really can't see anything that's really jumping out at me as far as what could be possibly wrong with this unit. This crack is at the bottom, but I think that was me. I'll have to look back at the footage because I didn't, quite frankly, I didn't pay that close of attention to it, and I'm not 100% sure now. Let me try and see if I can get it back together. So the issue is that during the agitation cycle, this washer was making a grinding noise, which is what I'm told is a very common failure as far as this Maytag transmission. Although I have to admit, I've not come across this aside from this particular one. This has not been something I've seen other than this particular case. Yeah, so the way that this would work is that this would turn against this housing, and it would cause this to agitate, something like that, if you could imagine it when it's holding the gears in place, and it would cause something resembling an agitation. It doesn't feel smooth, and I wonder if maybe something just got dislodged, or these don't go in any specific way. I'm sure somebody with maybe a micrometer or something would be able to figure out exactly what's wrong with this machine, but I'm just not 100% sure. The only thing that's obviously wrong is this housing is cracked, and like I said, we'll have to look back at the footage and see if it was me. But aside from that, I don't really see any. There's no scoring, there's no gears that are messed up anywhere inside here. Nothing looks trimmed or... What's up, Chewy? You giving it a sniff? And this does have a part number on it. It's W105758666 FSP. So, yeah, I'm not sure, guys. I thought I was going to have something a little bit more of a smoking gun, but this machine was working even when it was replaced. He was complaining about a grinding noise. And we were able to verify it when it was in the machine, and when we changed the gearbox, the grinding obviously went away. I thought for sure that one of these guys was going to be completely smoked or something, but it looks like that's not the case. Like I said, this does feel rough. As I'm spinning this, it doesn't feel smooth like butter or anything like that. It does feel like there is a little bit of a grind to it. Yeah, see, that feels pretty smooth. But I'll tell you, if I tip this in a little bit, it doesn't. That's when it feels like it starts to give that. All this is basically is just a glorified gear reducer, and there's really not much else to it. This whole transmission is 2 bearings, a plastic housing. This is what I would call perhaps the spin tube with a little seal here. And you have an agitator shaft with 4 little nylon gears. And really, that's about it. And there's not much to go wrong on these machines. I guess I'm curious to know what would be in the cheap version of this washer. I'm curious enough that I'm actually going to keep this assembly, because this is the important part. And I'm going to wait until I get another bad gearbox in. And what I'll do is I'll do a little show and tell on that one too. And then we could kind of figure out if there is a difference between the commercial version and then the regular residential style washer. So I'll hang on to this, I'll stick it in a bag, and we'll wait to a normal size one in, or a residential version, and we'll see how it works. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry there's not much to see in here, it's just a bunch of gears, but at least you know how your washing machine operates now. Thanks for watching.